إن الحمد لله وحده الصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His choicest blessings be upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. The hadith we are going to talk about today is one of the comprehensive hadiths which comprise of a number of important nasaya, admonitions and advices. The hadith is narrated by Sayyiduna Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma. قال كنت خلف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال يا غلام إني أعلمك كلمات احفظ الله يحفظك احفظ الله تجده تجاهك إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله واعلم أن الأمة لو اجتمعت على أن ينفعك بالشيء لم ينفعك إلا بالشيء قد كتبه الله لك وإن اجتمعوا على أن يضروك بالشيء لم يضروك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله عليك رفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن صحيح. Hadith is narrated by Sayyiduna Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma. He narrates that one day I was riding behind the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and he said to me, Ya ghulam, O my son, O boy, inni u'allimuka bi kalimat, I'm going to teach you some words. Be mindful of it, and you shall find, be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ihfazillah, be mindful of Allah, and tajidhu tujahak. Ihfazillah, be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yahfazka, He will protect you. Ihfazillah, be mindful of Him. Tajidhu tujahak, you'll find Him in front of you. وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ, if you ask of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. If you need help, seek it from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Know that if the whole world were to get together in order to help you, they would not be able to help you except if Allah had written it so. And if the whole world were to gather together in order to harm you, they would not harm you except if Allah had written it to be so. Rufi'at al-aklam, the pens have been removed, lifted up. Wajaffat al-suhuf, and the pages are dry. So this hadith is, as I said before, is one of the important hadiths, and that's why Hafiz ibn Salah rahimahullah ta'ala, he chose it to be one of the hadiths among 26 hadiths he chose, and then he was delivering the talk, a public talk and a public session on this. He was explaining the meanings of the hadith, and one of the hadiths is Hadith ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma. Due to its tremendous importance, many of the muhaddisin and ulama, they have separately made the commentary on this specific hadith, and small booklets have been brought out. So, in this hadith, Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, there is another narration of the same hadith, but not from the chain of Imam Tirmidhi rahimahullah ta'ala. It's from other chain, like Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala has reported the same hadith but with a different wordings, and a few, there is also slight difference in the nasiha as well. It says, Prophet said sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam to Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, ihfazillah, be cautious of Allah, be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or protect the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tajidhu amamak, you'll find Him always in front of you. Ta'arraf ilallahi fir rakha, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your prosperity. Ya'rifka fi shiddah, He will remember you in your difficulty. وَعَلَمْ, and you must know that أَنَّمَا أَخْطَأَكَ لَمْ يَكُنْ لِيُصِيبَكَ, whatever missed you, whatever you missed, that was never going to be your part. وَمَا أَصَابَكَ, and whatever you received from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَمْ يَكُنْ لِيُخْطِئَكَ, you were never supposed to miss it. وَعَلَمْ, and you must also know أَنَّ النَّصْرَ مَعَ الصَّبْرِ, that the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes with the patience. وَأَنَّ الْفَرَجَ مَعَ الْكَرْبِ, and comfort comes after the distress. وَأَنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا, and there is always ease with the difficulty. And this hadith has been reported from Sayyidina Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu through different chains. A group of tabi'een have narrated this hadith from Sayyidina Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. And one of the narrators is, it comes through the chain of Sayyidina Ali bin Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. He was son of Sayyidina Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. And then his student, his slave and student, Sayyidina Ikrimah radiallahu anhu, rahimahullah ta'ala. Then Ata ibn Abi Rabah rahimahullah ta'ala. And also Amr ibn Dinar and Ubaidullah ibn Abdullah. So there are many chains of narrators from Ibn Abbas for this hadith radiallahu anhu. As this hadith, as I said before, it comprises of some of the fundamental rules of Islam, basic teachings of Islam, and some of the important nasaya, important wasaya, and important advices. Even some of the ulama are reported to have said, he said, تَدَبَّرْتُ هَذَا الْحَدِيثِ, I contemplated upon this hadith. فَأَدْهَشَنِي, and it terrified me. And because of the knowledge, because of the important teachings which it comprises of, فَوَا أَسَفَ مِنَ الْجَهْلِ بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ. So I take pity on the people who ignore this hadith and don't وَقِلَّةِ التَّفَهُّمْ لِمَعْنَاهُ, and they don't reflect upon the meanings of the hadith. They would get the gems out of it. And the hadith starts with إِحْفَظِ اللَّهَ يَحْفَظْكَ, is the first part of the hadith. إِحْفَظِ اللَّهَ يَحْفَظْكَ. حَفِظَ يَحْفَظُ, its amr or its imperative form is إِحْفَظ. إِحْفَظِ اللَّهَ, and there are many meanings of this إِحْفَظ. Hafiza is used in the meaning of memorization. That's why we say Hafizul Quran. Hafiz, the one who memorized the Quran to the memory, one who committed the Quran to the memory. The word Hafiz is also used. Hafiz is also used for hifaza, for protection. One of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Hafiz, the all protector. Here, now, Ihfazillah, it can have both the meanings. We remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. Yahfazka, He will take care of you. He'll be conscious about you. And there is also a hadith, if we take this meaning of the hadith, if we take this meaning of hifz, hifaza, that is memorization or remembering. Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, also this is hadith Qudsi. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِي, I treat my servant the way he thinks of me. So we can say here is a relevance of this meaning, and it is supported by other ahadith. أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِي, I treat my servant the way he thinks of me. فَإِنْ ذَكَرَنِي فِي نَفْسِهِ ذَكَرْتُهُ فِي نَفْسِي, if he remembers me with himself, I remember him with myself. فَإِنْ ذَكَرَنِي فِي مَلَئٍ, if he remembers me in a group among the people, then I remember him in a better session than him. That is in the session of Malaika. So Ihfazillah, you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will remember you. What does this mean? Can we have the mafhum mukhalafa? One of the Hindu, I had a discussion long back, I had a discussion with him about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he posed to be atheist, but I was knowing that they in Kashmir they pose to be atheists, but they are truly Brahmins at heart. This is my experience. So he said, your Quran says, you remember me, I remember you. If you don't remember, then remember me, I will remember you. It means that if we don't remember him, he doesn't remember us. I said this is known as mafhumul mukhalafa. This does not apply at every place. Ihfazillah yahfazka. You remember Allah, Allah will remember you. But still, if we don't remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He still remembers us. Because the nature of His compassion, the nature of His mercy is so vast. Even if we all forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He doesn't forget about us. Because He's a tremendous love for us. So, ihfazillah yahfazka. You remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will remember you. So one of the meaning, this, if we take the meaning of hifz, hafiza yahfazu, ihfaz, in the meaning of remembrance. And then the Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, his report says, ta'arraf illaha fi rakha. We remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the days of comfort, in your prosperity, in the days of comfort. Then He will remember you in the days of difficulty. So it means this is one of the meaning we can infer from the hadith. Ihfazillaha. So while talking about the translation of the hadith, this part of the hadith, ihfazillaha, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yahfazka, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remember you. And there is also another possibility of the hadith. Hafiza yahfazu, as I said, it also means protect. Hafiz, all protector, who protects us from all sorts of harms, and He is the last refuge, last resort to us. In that case, if we take the meaning of protection, then what does it mean? Ihfazillah, you protect Allah. So here we can say it is majaz, because it is beyond the scope of the slaves and the servants that we can anyway protect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then what does it mean? Ihfaz hudud Allah. Ihfaz hudud Allah. وحقوقه وأوامره ونواهيه. You protect the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You protect the rights of Allah. You protect the commandments of Allah. You protect the prohibitions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that way we can say hudud or huquq, it is omitted. Ihfazillah refers to, and this is quite common in the Arabic literature, that they omit the things. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says at many places, was'alil qaryah. You ask the village. But we know that it means you ask the people of the village. So people is omitted. So this is at many places in the Quran, that you was'alil qaryah. You ask the village. Qaryah means village. But we know that village is something which is jamad, which is non-living. We cannot ask the village. Village is not a personified form. It's not a person we ask. So it refers here, was'alil qaryah means ask the people of the village. But Arabs, they use like this. So ihfazillah means ihfaz hudud Allah, ihfaz huquq Allah, ihfaz awamir Allah, ihfaz nawahi Allah. And that's how al-wuquf in the awamirihi. Practicing the commandments. When we practice the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, stay away from the prohibitions, we observe His limits, and we don't cross the limits which are set for us. And whoever observes all these things, whoever practices these things, he is the one who is the protector of the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has praised such people in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هَذَا مَا تُوعَدُونَ. This is what you were promised. لِكُلِّ أَوَّابٍ. And this promise is for every awwab. Awwab, the one who returns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every now and then. Hafiz, who used to protect the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. مَنْ خَشِيَ الرَّحْمَنَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Who was conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without seeing Him. وَجَاءَ بِقَلْبٍ مُنِيبٍ. And came to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a penitent heart. So here, Mufassirun, they have commented on this verse, and the commentary is that the word لِكُلِّ أَوَّابٍ حَفِيظ is for everyone who returned to Allah. Awwab means the one who oft returned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every time he commits any sin or any flaw, he returns back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salatul Awwabin. Awwab, Aba Yahu means to return. Awwab is its intensive form, which means who frequently returns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they say, Hafiz here refers to Al-Hafiz li-awamirillah, the one who protects the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the one who protects his deeds, whenever he commits the sins, he makes a tawbah. He repents before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this hifz or this protection is on the part of the servant. When he protects the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he protects the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Allah used the same word for the salah, because you can say the most important hukum or commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after iman, it is salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Hafizu ala salawat, you protect the prayers. Hafizu ala salawat, Allah has commanded. Hafizu is again imperative sense. It is amr. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also praises those believers who protect the salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing them, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ, and those who punctually protect their salah, regularly protect their salah, means they perform the salah at the prescribed times. So those, ihfazillah, ihfaz amr Allah, ihfaz your salah, you protect the salah. Yahfazka, Allah will protect you. Prophet said sallallahu alayhi wasallam about the salah, man hafaza alayha, whoever protects the salah, means observes the salah, performs the salah at the proper time, kana lahu indallahi ahadun, he has a promise with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a covenant with Allah, a pact with Allah, and yudkhilahul jannah, that Allah will cause him to enter the paradise. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among such people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the permission to enter the paradise. Likewise, there's also a hadith which talks about the wudu ablution. Prophet said sallallahu alayhi wasallam, La yuhafizu alal wudu illa mu'min, is only believer who takes care of the ablution. And wudu is a sign that a person has a firm belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, if we go to masjid, nobody knows whether we have the ablution or not. It's only known to us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when a person performs the wudu, nobody is watching him. He's inside the washroom and nobody knows whether he has performed the ablution or not, or he has just washed the face. It is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a person properly and he perfectly performs the ablution, it is a sign that he believes in Allah, because there is no one to see him. So Prophet said, La yuhafizu alal wudu illa mu'min. So it is in this context that it's a believer who takes care of the wudu, who takes care of ablution. And there's also, there are many ahkam in the Quran and Sunnah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam commanded us to take care of, to protect them, to observe the limits of. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in the Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَاحْفَظُوا أَيْمَانَكُمْ, you protect your oaths. Whenever you take the oath, you must fulfill it. وَاحْفَظُوا, again the word hifz is used. Protection is used. Protect أَيْمَانَكُمْ. If there is kasra on the hamza, it is iman. Iman means faith, belief. If it is fatha on the hamza, that is ayman, then it is plural of yameen. Yameen has two meanings. Yameen is in the meaning of right. Yameen is also in the meaning of oath. So yameen means oath. Yameen also means right side. And its plural is ayman. Its plural is ayman. Ayman means oaths. So Prophet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَاحْفَظُوا أَيْمَانَكُمْ, you protect your oaths, because many of the people, they take a lot of oaths, but they hardly observe it, they hardly practice it, they hardly fulfill it. So they neglect it and ignore it. So these are the ahkam. Protect the salah, protect the wudu, protect your oaths. And that all comes, ihfazillah. You observe the limits of Allah. You protect the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it also comprises of the hadith in which Prophet said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, al-istihya min Allahi haqq al-haya. Respect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He deserves to be respected. And one of the practical implications of this respect is an tahfaza ra'sa wa ma wa'a. That you protect, an tahfaza, again hifz. An tahfaza ra'sa, that you protect the head, wa ma wa'a, whatever it comprises of. The head comprises of the eyes, ears, mouth, and the mind. An tahfaza ra'sa wa ma wa'a. That you protect the head and whatever it comprises of, whatever it hosts. Wa tahfaz al-batna wa ma hawa. And you protect your belly and whatever is around it, means all your private parts. And this hadith is very comprehensive also, because two things: head, whatever it hosts, and the belly, whatever it is surrounded by. So hifzu ras, how a person can observe the protection of the head. It comprises of a person should not listen to haram, a person should not see haram or prohibited thing. A person should not use his tongue, his speech, against the tenets of Islam, against the commandments of Islam. So all the prohibitions concerning to hearing, listening, and thinking, it comprises of hifzul ras, hifzul batan, and protecting the belly, means there should not be one single morsel of haram which goes down to the belly. And it also, wama hawa, whatever is surrounded by the belly, it is surrounded by the heart, it is surrounded by the private parts. A person should take care of such things as well. So this is the beauty of the hadith. Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one small sentence, but it comprises of each and everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي أَنفُسِكُمْ. You must know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything, whatever is with your heart, in your hearts. فَحْذَرُوا. So be cautious enough. And one of the hadiths just encompasses the whole thing. In Surah Bani Israel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. إِنَّ السَّمْعَ, indeed your hearing capability, وَالْبَصَرَ, your seeing capability, وَالْفُؤَادَ, your thinking capability, كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ, all of it, كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا, is accountable before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You shall be asked about your seeing, about your hearing, about your thinking. كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ, all of it, كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا, it's all going to be asked about. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask a person about it. How did you use it? So the life of the believer is not just easygoing life in a way that he neglects his responsibilities. He's not aware of his own position in dunya. And the most important thing which a person needs to take care of as far as the prohibitions are concerned, it's lisan, tongue, and the private parts. Al-lisan wal-farj. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu narrates that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man hafiza ma bayna lahiyayh." Anyone who protects which is between the two jaws, that is tongue, wa ma bayna rijlayh, and his private part, dakhala al-jannah, he entered the paradise. Because these are the two things which drag a person towards the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, ihfazillah yahfazka. You protect all these things which Allah has mentioned in the Quran, Prophet has mentioned in the Hadith sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Yahfazka, Allah will protect you. You will have the divine protection. Yahfazka, the one who observes the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who observes the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will protect him. Allah says in the Quran, Awfu bi ahadi ufu bi ahadikum. You fulfill my promise, I will fulfill your promise. You fulfill your promise, I fulfill my promise. Our promise is to just observe the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And His promise is that He will protect us. Ihfazillaha yahfazka. And this hifadha, or the protection, okay, one part is clear, ihfazillaha, that you protect the commandments of Allah, you protect the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the obligations of Allah, the prohibitions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then this is stimulus. Response is yahfazka, He will protect you.